Good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you may be in this really rather lovely world in which we live. You may have noticed that the Red Legend isn't behind me. I've got the Thunderbird out, looking all shiny. We haven't had this in a video for quite some time. And, of course, loaded with luggage, because I am headed off to Warwickshire to the Adventure Bike Rider Festival for 3 days with my sponsors Biker Heads. I'm going to be promoting the Photo Biker workshops up there, and I think it's going to be great fun. Now, there's some beautiful riding and some stunning scenery in that neck of the world, so hopefully we're going to find some photos along the way. Now there's a fine old building for you. Look at that. I wonder how old it is. Older than me, at least. This is a little Cotswold village of Bibury. Now, I've never actually been here before, but I have seen pictures of it, and it looked kind of cute. It is really rather cute, isn't it? It's a bit chocolate boxy, actually. Oh, so let's just have a little look, see if we can figure out where might be a good spot to take a picture. Now, obviously, there seems to be a lot of people about, so God alone knows what this place would be like high summer holiday weekend. I think it would be absolutely heaving with people. So what do we got? Lots of cars parked here. I like that little row of cottages over there. I think that could be interesting. It's always worth have a little look around. Don't just go flying in. Don't just do the obvious. That looks interesting. Do I want to park down here? It might look nice from this end. There's a little lane over there. I'm going to be really lazy and see if I can find my way to that little lane and start from the other end. Turnaround time. The light really isn't that great, but I think this place probably has potential to come and visit another day when the light is better. Now, I think I saw a little side road up here, and that biker instinct says it's going to take me to where I want to go over there. Here we go. Let's find out. Unsuitable for heavy goods, no turning beyond this point. Yep, they obviously don't want cars coming down here because it is gonna snarl the old place up. And I'm guessing people probably live in those little cottages. There's a place not far from me called Buckler's Hard, which is very pretty, ancient little row of cottages, but people live there. And if it was all snarled up with tourists, there we go, look. Bingo. Let's do something from just here, because I think it's got possibilities. Doesn't the old Thunderbird look rugged? All that luggage, all that stuff on there, it's got a real feeling of we are going somewhere. So let's take a shot with the Thunderbird in it. Of course, we've got a load of people walking through here now. There was not a soul a moment ago. So what's going to be important with this? Well, you can see from the GoPro it works well with a wide angle, so I put the wide angle lens on the camera. Let's have a look through here at 10 millimeters. So what's the primary exposure control going to be? It's going to be our aperture, because we want lots of depth of field, even with a wide angle lens, which has a lot of depth of field. A smaller middling aperture is just going to ensure everything's front to back sharp, because I think that's what we're going to want for the moment. So let's have a look through the camera and see how it looks. Now everything is just a little tiny bit dark, I think. So I'm going to argue with the light meter. The light meter is saying I want 125th of a second f10, 250 ISO. I disagree. I think it wants to be a bit brighter. So let's brighten that up a bit and go to a 60th at f10. That looks better, doesn't it? I'd say that composition is quite nice. Now, even with the bike sitting in the middle, it looks pretty good. So let's take that picture, but I think there's another one by making the focal length just a little bit longer. If I move back and zoom in as I do it, it's kind of changing the shape of things a little, and I think that is possibly going to be a slightly nicer shot. Go back to the really wide angle one and move in close. The bike's okay, but it's looking just a little bit distorted. Now let's zoom in a bit, only a bit. Where are we? Somewhere around here I think we were. That is now at nearly 18 millimeters. So let's try that. And now we can compare the two. Here's our first shot at 10 mil. Yes, we got more of the background in, but the bike looks kind of bent out of shape and distorted, because wide angle lenses, they do that. Here is the second shot. We've just increased the focal length just that little bit, and look at the difference. The bike isn't quite so distorted. Also, you see that house in the background? It's suddenly sort of taken a pace forward, and it's sort of joined in to be part of the picture. I think that's quite good. Which one do you prefer? Please say in the comments, is it the first one with the wide angle lens, or is it the second shot, still wide angle lens, but we've increased that focal length just a little tiny bit? Let me know what you think. I'm interested to find out. When you pull in somewhere like this and think, you know what, there might be a picture here somewhere, by all means do the completely obvious, but also think about where you could go, what you could do, what may or may not work, like we did just now when we went down that little back road over there. I'm holding her up. Please carry on. Don't worry about it, it's fine. So, you know, it'd be really tempting to just pull into a parking spot like this and think, I'm just gonna take a picture. I got the 18 to 55 on my favorite focal length. What exactly would that look like? Because just here we got a river, we got the houses, we got the field, there's a few cows in front of it. So what would it look like? Well, it would look something like this. Let me just brighten it up for you a little bit so you can see better. It's not terribly inspiring, is it? You could sort of go click, snap, and then sort of look that way and go, oh, there's a bridge, and go click, snap, and then you've got a chap in the picture. Or you could look the other way and just think, oh, there's another bridge down there. You get my meaning. There's no point in taking that picture. It's just a little bit ordinary. Always go and have a little look. See if you can find a different angle, a different point of view. I think there may be one just over here. We'll go and have a look. For example, we've got some pretty cool ingredients from this angle. Look, we've got the little stream running down here. We've got this stone wall here. We've got the row of cottages. We've got the other row of cottages at the end. So we can use those. Look, let me show you something. If we were just looking at the row of cottages like this, even though it's nice with this little stream running down here, it does look pretty. But look, if you move back just a touch, maybe make the lens just a touch wider, you can also move your body. Look, composition is all about moving. There we go, look. We're now framing up that little row of cottages, and if we can find the place, really I need to be stood in the stream, I'm not going to do it. Let's make that lens a fraction longer. Something like that, I think, is quite a nice look. So let's take this one from here. It does look nice from here, don't get me wrong. Now let's move back a little. Take that one with the corner of this building in it. This second shot adds just a little bit more of a dynamic to it. You know, we can find the right place. I'm going to shuffle forwards a touch, shorten the focal length a touch, and do it from here, because I didn't like the fact that first little cottage was cut off the end. So make sure my camera's level. I know I'm taking a bit of fuss, a bit of time, but it's about looking all around the viewfinder. Make sure the stream is in the corner of the frame. Make sure the camera is level. Make sure we're focused in the right place. That is much better. Here's that first shot. We've just got the row of cottages, and sure, it looks really nice, and it would look amazing if there was a bit of light washing in from that side onto the front of them. The second shot with the foreground is nice, but it's cutting off the end cottage. So just by moving forward a bit, shortening the focal length a bit, suddenly it looks a whole world nicer. Photography doesn't happen in your camera, it happens in here, in your head. You've got to understand how the camera works, what the settings are and what they do creatively. You've got to understand about where to stand, the focal length to use, because focal length, where you stand, that's composition, and they're best friends. If you'd like to find out more about that, about infinity points, about where to focus and all that cool stuff, please take a look at my masterclass in photography. I'm giving away 7 completely free lessons from that course so that you can try it out. These are valuable lessons in their own right, and I know they'll make a difference for you, even if you don't go on to buy the course, which of course I hope you do. There's a little thing popping up in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Go to that page, go and get yourself those 7 free lessons. Try it out for yourself, because it will clear a world of confusion for you. Have just glimpsed some poppies through a fence here. I think there definitely could be a picture in there, looking across that field into the distance. I don't expect these guys will be here long. I'll climb over the fence, see what we can do. Now the obvious thing, of course, would be to pull up at the gate over there, just lean over the gate and go click. Just move around a bit, just see what you can come up with. And I think the first thing I want to do is to do something up close. There's a couple of poppies down here. Let's see what we can do. These two down here, right in the foreground. What happens if we start getting closer to them? We'll just have them in the middle, really strong. These two right in the centre. Depth of field. You could have tons. You could have very little. I'm going to try very little to begin with. So let's go with wide aperture. I'm going with 2.8, 250 ISO, which is pretty nice. Let's focus on our poppies. I rather like that. Thousandths of a second, f2.8, 250 ISO, and we have got a shallow depth of field, but look, I'm only that far away from the thing I'm focusing on. It's difficult to get a shallow depth of field with a very short lens. Let's go out a bit longer to 55mm and try much the same shot. This time we're going to lose, I think, the horizon and just kind of look down a little more. That's kind of nice. I don't think it's as interesting as the other one. They're pretty good. I'm going to go pop the wide angle lens on. And boom, here we are, 10mm lens. Now, Like I said, don't be too obvious. How about looking at these from down below? Because we got all these little bits of grass, we got red poppies. It's not a bad looking bit of sky. Ooh, that looks kind of nice. So we get the camera right down here into the grass. Let's just kind of find a place. Look at that, look. We've just got these two poppies here and we're looking straight up at the sky. Now, as we lift and turn the camera, you can change that viewpoint. We could have just a little tiny bit of the horizon in there. Get just a bit closer. I think that actually is probably my favourite because it's more dramatic, it's different, it's unusual. So let's take that one. What sort of depth of field will we want for this? Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because there isn't much in the way of background going on in this shot apart from the sky. I think f8 will probably work well. We're pointing straight up at the sky, which is quite nice, but I have a feeling it will underexpose a little bit. Yeah. So look, here's what the camera wants, which is 1/1000th of a second at f8. Here's what I'm going to do, which is 500th of a second at f8. Much the same shot. I think that is much nicer. You see, the camera was being fooled by the brightness of the sky and it's made it really, really dark. So that's why there are times you do need to argue with your light meter. I've already mentioned my Masterclass online course. Go and have a look. It'll explain why you need to do it, how you need to do it, and when you need to do it too. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ping that notification bell. Also, I want to let you know about a Facebook group which I run called Photo Creative, where I set regular monthly challenges for the group. You've got to go and shoot for the challenge because it's like a workout for your creativity. Every month we have a live online on YouTube where I'll give some feedback on images and just sort of mention the ones which I kind of like best. It's a really great workout for your creativity. There is a link popping out in the top right of your screen right now. Click on that. Go and have a look at the Photo Creative group. Please come and join in. Over 4,000 photographers, a nicer bunch of people you couldn't wish to meet. So once again, I hope you've enjoyed traveling around. I really, really love this field. I could stay here for hours and hours and hours, but I do need to move on. So be well, be happy. I'll see you next time.